All right, today we're going to unpack the incredibly complex world of sustainable manufacturing. We're going to dig into the hidden costs behind all the products we use every day, and more importantly, the incredible tech that's helping us build a smarter and greener future.
So let me ask you something. Think about the phone that's probably in your pocket right now, or maybe the laptop you're watching this on. You know what you paid for it, right? But what did the planet pay? And that right there is the huge question we're exploring today, that hidden price tag that's attached to literally everything we make.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the massive challenge facing modern manufacturing. Then we'll look at the tools that actually help us see the whole story. After that, we'll dive into the digital upgrade that's a total game changer. And finally, we'll see how this all clicks together in the real world.
And that brings us right to this huge tension at the heart of how we make things. You know, for the longest time, it was all about one thing: profit. But now, we're facing this urgent, undeniable need to balance that drive for profit with the health of our planet.
Here's the best way to think about it. The price you see on the shelf, that's just one part of the equation. The other price tag, the hidden one, that accounts for the raw materials pulled from the earth, the energy burned, the carbon released, the waste left behind. Sustainable manufacturing is all about understanding and balancing both of those costs, not just at one point, but across a product's entire lifetime.
So how in the world do you actually measure these two totally different kinds of costs? Well, it's not easy, but for years, experts have used two core frameworks to try and get a complete view of a product's total impact. First up, you've got life cycle cost analysis, or LCCA. The easiest way to picture this is as a product's complete financial biography. I mean, it doesn't just look at the manufacturing cost. It tracks every single dollar and cent, from sourcing the raw materials to production, shipping, what it costs the customer to maintain it, and even the cost of getting rid of it when it's done, the whole shebang.
And on the other side of the coin, you have the environmental assessment, or EA. If LCCA is the financial story, think of this as the environmental report card. It's measuring the product's ecological footprint. All the energy it used, the carbon it emitted, the water it consumed, again, across its entire lifespan, from the moment its materials are sourced to the day it gets thrown away.
Okay, so this slide makes it super clear. LCCA is all about economics. It measures in dollars and cents to make sure a product is financially viable. EEA is all about ecology. It measures carbon and environmental impact to make sure our planet is viable. They seem like different worlds, but really, they're two sides of the very same coin. And this is the absolute key. We have to stop thinking about these as being in conflict with each other. You know that old idea of profit versus planet? That's the old way of thinking. The modern, sustainable way uses both LCCA and EA together. They're essential complementary tools that let a company make a choice that is actually good for the bottom line and good for the environment.
Now, for the longest time, doing all this analysis was, well, it was a real slug. It was slow, difficult, and based on a lot of guesswork. But right now, we are in the middle of a massive digital upgrade. Technology is making these tools more powerful than they have ever been.
And this whole upgrade? It's being powered by what people are calling Industry 4.0, basically the fourth industrial revolution. We're going to focus on three huge technological amplifiers: the Internet of Things, or IoT, blockchain, and of course, artificial intelligence. Each one is a game changer.
Let's start with the Internet of Things. The best way to think about IoT is as a factory's central nervous system. You have smart sensors on machines all along the production line, constantly feeding back data in real time. This lets companies see exactly how much energy or material they're using so they can become way more efficient. It also allows for predictive maintenance, fixing machines before they break down, which saves a ton of money and prevents waste.
Next up, blockchain. You've probably heard about it with crypto, right? But its real power here is in creating a transparent, unchangeable digital record. This means you can track a piece of raw material from the second it's mined all the way to the final product. It gives you a trustworthy, auditable record that dramatically cuts down the cost and hassle of proving your supply chain is actually as sustainable as you say it is.
And that brings us to the big one, AI. Honestly, this quote from the research says it all. AI isn't just some buzzword here. It is a proven tool for actively optimizing costs and reducing environmental impact at the same time. It's the strategic brain that pulls all this data together and makes sense of it. So how does it actually do that? Well, first, AI is incredible at managing uncertainty. It can run thousands of complex what-if scenarios, things like Monte Carlo simulations, to make those future cost and impact projections way more reliable. Second, it optimizes decisions. It can analyze countless variables,
to help an engineer pick the absolute best materials or figure out the most effective way to retrofit an old factory. And finally, it just enhances the precision of everything, making both the financial and the environmental models so much more accurate.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at how this integrated, tech-powered approach is solving actual challenges, from the factory floor to the construction site. This table gives you a great snapshot. Take additive manufacturing, or 3D printing. The big challenge there is high energy use. So the solution is to use these integrated models to evaluate the trade-offs. For example, you can find that sweet spot where redesigning a part to be lighter saves way more fuel over its lifetime than the extra energy it costs to print it. It's being used in aviation and construction to build better roads, and in green building to make older buildings more energy efficient without breaking the bank.
And look, this isn't just for big corporations. This data is hugely important for policymakers. When governments have comprehensive, reliable data on both the economic and environmental costs of different industries, they can create way smarter policies. Things like targeted tax breaks or regulations that actually encourage and reward sustainable practices.
Now, we're not saying this is a solved problem. There are still some major hurdles to clear on the road ahead. We need better data standards so we can actually compare apples to apples across different industries. We need to harmonize the assessment methods themselves. A really big one is figuring out how to integrate social factors like fair labor practices into these models. And crucially, we have to get better at explaining all this complex stuff to the policymakers who need to act on it.
So what's the one thing you should take away from all this? The big message is integration. By combining life cycle cost analysis with environmental assessments and then supercharging both with powerful tech like AI, IoT, and blockchain, we finally have the tools to see the true cost of everything. And with that knowledge, we can start making truly smarter, more sustainable choices for ourselves and for the planet. Which leaves us with one last big question. We have the data, we have the incredible analytical power, the technology is here right now. So are we finally ready to use it to build a world where the price we pay at the store and the price the planet pays are finally in balance? The choice really is ours.